Welcome to Classified Captures.
Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from strange UFO captures to clips of creatures we didn't even know existed on this planet. Ready to have your mind blown? Well, let's dive in.
I wasn't looking through the phone, like I was scanning the field, but I was like looking at the field.
I've seen and imagined many things in my day, but what I've never imagined or thought of is what seemingly happens in this clip. This is not a digital effect. The young man who recorded this clip stated that he was out there scanning and recording the terrain when all of a sudden, the sky glitched.
And I was like, what the world? And I stopped the video and I went back and my phone caught it. I don't know what it is.
At first, he thought he'd imagined it, so he paused and reviewed the clip he was recording, and then he realized it was in it too. The strange thing, according to him, is that when the sky flickered, the clouds went off like they disappeared. That's not normal. The only place I can think of something like this happening is in a video game where textures are loading or there's tearing and stuttering. As a gamer, seeing this in real life will confuse me, but we aren't here to talk about me. We have to get to the bottom of this. Why did the sky glitch and why did the clouds go off? The simple answer is, well, we don't know. The community is unable to come to a consensus on the why and how, but a majority of the community believes that this is nothing but a glitch in the Matrix. Looking at the clip, I'm tempted to believe that because these kinds of things only happen in computer programming. While I was getting to put out the hypothesis, Julius walked in and stated that the guy was lying. According to his analysis, and I emphasize it's his analysis, the young man didn't see it happen with his naked eyes. He only saw it in the clip he was recording, and that's because he was using a digital camera that digitally adjusted itself due to the change in lighting conditions. Basically, the clouds didn't disappear. They were just details that were not pronounced after the adjustment. His theories sound grounded, but our in-house conspiracy theorist thinks it's nothing more than the rumbling of an unbeliever. Well, you've seen the clip, so what do you think? While you share your thoughts on that one, take a good look at this too. This time, it's not the sky flickering and the clouds going off. No, this time we got a man on the ground who at first appears to be lost in thought. A second look at him will, however, prove that that's not the case. When people are lost in thought, you can tell from their facial expressions. Typically, they wear a confused, lost, or worried look. This man, however, looks different. It's almost as though he wasn't there at all. No, that can't be right. It's rather as though he was somehow frozen in motion, but that can't be. Yeah? That's not possible in any way, right? If so, then how do we have this? Again, the community is unable to come to a unanimous agreement, but the majority believe it's a glitch in the Matrix. While that sounds like a convenient way to explain away everything, it's one the community has come to adopt. A small sect, however, pointed out that there's a possibility that the man is a wax figure. If he is, well, it'd explain the unnatural look in the frozen state. At this point, I'm not saying too much, but what do you guys also think? Next, we got a clip from a woman named Claire. This footage was recorded by her home security camera, and it's left her family shaken ever since. Like most people, she retired to bed late at night only to be woken by an alert from her home security system. Motion had been detected in front of her home. That's odd, she said to herself as she got from the bed. Most individuals may have gone to the door to see who it was, but she knew better. The world is not as safe as it used to be. So she pulls up her device to check the footage from her home security system. It's at this moment she notices that there's something unusual happening in front of her home. She looks at the footage and sees a shadow moving up and down. At first, she felt she might have sped the footage too much, but she checked, and it was not too far off from normal speed. If that was the case, why was there a humanoid blur moving up and down in the footage at unnatural speeds? The only explanation she could come up with was that whatever that shadow was, it was moving faster than the fastest man alive ever could. She then uploaded it online for a second opinion, and she got many of those. A number of individuals felt she had captured a shadow person, whereas some felt she had captured something otherworldly moving through our plane of existence. While those seem like interesting points, they don't explain the to and from movements. Some also stated it was fake and digitally edited, but that argument couldn't hold. The reason was that the motion-activated lights in the opposite house were activated by the shadow. This had many believe that it was indeed real, but try as they may, they couldn't agree on what exactly the lady had captured. But can you help? Have you ever experienced a weather phenomenon you felt was too unnatural to be real? If you brushed it off because you thought you were going crazy, this next clip might prove that you were actually sane, and maybe, just maybe, there was a cause for concern. This clip was recorded on the 29th of March this year in Dallas, Texas. At first glance, it looks like an interesting clip of a storm, but the more you look and slow it down, the more you realize that there is more to the clip than meets the eye. Confused? Let's slow it down. Do you see those items falling from the sky? Is item the right word to use, though? Maybe, maybe not, but there are objects falling from the sky, and the lady didn't notice it at first till she tried to create a slow-mo clip by slowing it down. That was at the point she noticed these suspicious objects. Upon uploading it online, almost all who saw it and believed it was authentic UFO footage were quick to call the objects fallen UFOs. They came to the conclusion that the rain was no rain at all, and that these objects, or UFOs, had manipulated the weather so you could sneak in undetected. What do you think about it? It makes a lot of sense, and I wouldn't doubt that it was possible. It reminds me of the first installment of Michael Bay Transformers and how they entered the Earth's atmosphere. Anyway, back to the clip. The community agrees that this is definitely legitimate footage showing some aliens entering our atmosphere. If you were to have the final word on authenticity of this clip and what's happening in it, would you agree with them, or do you have your own theory and hypothesis? This is another security cam footage showing something eerie. This time, however, it was not captured by a home security cam, but one on the commercial property. A security guard on the evening shift felt the atmosphere change and became somewhat uncomfortable. This change was unnatural to him and a little disturbing. He then started to look around, and that's when he noticed something move in the dark. Sure, it did spook him a little, but the last thing on his mind was that he was dealing with a paranormal entity. Instead, he felt there might be someone trying to break in. Being the diligent guard that he is, he retreated to the cam room to double-check the footage, and that's when he noticed it. It was no human, and he couldn't even tell what it was. Whatever it was, it had this semi-solid and had this ethereal look to it, the kind of typically associated with ghosts and other paranormal beings. After watching it over and over and over, he started to feel like he'd really encountered a ghost, but how? They aren't supposed to be real. Confused, he uploaded the clip online, hoping someone would tell him if he was seeing things. Unfortunately for him, however, people like us saw the clip and made it our life mission to make a believer out of him. He was told he'd encountered a ghost or otherworldly being. This, of course, was not what he wanted to hear. Nonetheless, he accepted it in good faith. Perhaps we were being biased because of our beliefs, but what explanation would you have given him yourself? Still on a list of things people don't believe are real, take a good look at this image. What do you see? If you said a man and a strange creature, well, you'd be correct. The big question, however, is, what sort of creature is it? The man who took the picture saved us the trouble by telling us. According to him, the creature in the image is the legendary Chupacabra. If you haven't seen it before, today is your lucky day. Or is it? Somehow the paranormal community isn't buying it. Many who saw the capture believe it might be a dead coyote or pit bull with mange instead of a chupacabra. When I read those captions, I took a good look at the image and I couldn't unsee it. Not to say I believed it was a chupacabra, but an old man like him wouldn't lie on the internet, right? You know what, don't answer that. Not sure why I asked. If this is a pit bull or coyote with mange, then it's truly sad. Anyway, what do you think? You know how children are always saying weird things and crying? Well, when this photo was taken, the little girl on your right all of a sudden started crying and telling everyone who cared to listen that the little boy was scaring her. The only problem is there was no little boy there with them. She was the only child around, which made the adults think she was having one of those childish episodes kids typically have. They tried calming her down, but she wasn't interested in being calm. They then decided to leave her be and take the group photograph like that. Having her crying in the picture would be funny and serve as a great reference point in the future. The only problem is, when the photograph was taken, one of them noticed there was something or someone smallish on the left side of the image. When she pointed it out, it spooked everyone. What is that? They all asked. It was at that moment they realized that the little girl might not have been wrong at all. They uploaded the image online seeking answers, and some members of the community thought it was the ghost of a little child that might have passed on. Some who looked at the clip were, however, not too sure about that. They felt this looked less human than everyone was making it out to be. They felt that this was most likely a duende. Now, first of all, I'm sad for that little girl. Just imagine how she would have felt when everyone was dismissing her genuine concerns.
I wonder how many more individuals have been tagged unstable for things they can't explain.
While CGI is prevalent nowadays and almost anything can be edited, this particular piece of footage from China has been making the rounds, sparking debates about whether it's real or digitally altered. The video shows a lightning strike behaving in an unnatural way. In the first clip, you can see the lightning cutting through the sky until it reaches just in front of a building. Then, in a sudden flash of light, something strange happens. From another angle, a different clip provides a clearer view of the incident. From the second angle, it almost looks like the lightning strike came from a source, say a flying source. The first thing that came to mind was that an alien ship may have shot from it. From the second angle, it looks like a beam from a spaceship. If you've watched a lot of alien movies, you know what I mean. As much as I want this to be true, not everyone in the community is buying it. Some skeptics believe the footage could be fake, possibly manipulated with special effects. However, since multiple clips from various sources captured the same event, others argue that it's unlikely to be fabricated. Could this be an incredibly rare natural phenomenon, or is it just another example of digital trickery?
哎呦我操！哎呦我操！哎呦我操！
我操，咋的了这啊？
Next, we got another case of an individual not being believed when they shared their paranormal encounter. Only this time, it involved an adult and not a child. Before we get to that, take a good look at the clip on your screen. A man who was out camping with his family claimed to have captured something unbelievable. He shared the footage he'd captured, and once it made its way online, many individuals noted that there was a pale-looking creature in it. Many thought this was either a Rake or a Skinwalker. These creatures are said to be thin, ghostly figures with long limbs, sharp claws, and dark, hollow eyes. Some sightings even mention their pupils glowing in the dark, and the sounds they make, a chilling, ear-piercing screech. There was no audio to confirm this, but the paranormal community found it all intriguing and interesting. But what happens when no one believes your story? Well, let's travel back in time to the 23rd of July 2013, when a disturbing encounter allegedly occurred near Niagara in upstate New York. A park ranger swore he saw one of those with his own eyes, but instead of being believed, he lost his job. Officials dismissed him for unruly conduct, poor mental capability, and an inability to separate reality from fiction. He claimed he'd caught the creature on camera, but before he could share the footage, the Ranger Service took it away, calling it official evidence. Now, when he shared this story, the community was shocked, if that's the right word to use. Why would they confiscate the footage if they believed he was seeing things and it wasn't real? This got the paranormal community talking and believing that some of these institutions are aware of the things that hide in the dark, but refuse to acknowledge or say anything about it. It's wild the things I come across when doing research for each episode. The most recent thing to shock me is dirty electricity. Now, before I go further, did you know that there are some scientists who believe electricity could be behind many of the diseases we have today, notably leukemia and diabetes? While conspiracy theorists insist many of the diseases we see today started when electricity was introduced to living areas, mainstream medicine rejects the ideas. According to them, the relationship between electromagnetic fields and diabetes has been explored in various studies, but the results are mixed. A 2008 study suggested that dirty electricity, which refers to transient EMFs in the kilohertz range, might elevate blood sugar levels in people with diabetes, particularly those that are electrically sensitive. The researchers observed that both type 1 and type 2 diabetes had higher plasma glucose levels when exposed to environments with significant electromagnetic pollution. This led to the idea that EMFs could contribute to difficulties in regulating blood sugar, especially in cases of brittle diabetes. On the other hand, more recent research suggests that EMFs might actually have therapeutic effects on diabetes. A 2020 study found that exposing diabetic mice to a combination of static electricity and magnetic fields for a few hours each day helped normalize blood sugar levels and improve insulin sensitivity. The researchers proposed that EMFs might alter redox signaling in the liver, enhancing the body's response to insulin. These findings hint at the possibility of using EMFs as a non-invasive way to manage blood sugar levels. I don't know why, but I have doubts about this recent study. The thing is, I'm no medical expert, but the results don't feel right, especially compared to earlier studies. Since the evidence is conflicting, scientists state that more research is needed to understand the full effects of EMFs on diabetes and whether they pose a risk or offer potential benefits. Have you heard any news or theories on this and care to share what you heard? Listen.
Do y'all hear this? Oh my God.
Did you catch that? Now imagine driving at night and hearing something like that. It's sure to freak you out no matter who you are. This was recorded late one night in the Tennessee area by a woman who'd been left stranded in her overheated car. While waiting for things to cool, she started hearing the sounds you were hearing. Naturally, this sent shivers down her spine as she didn't know what she was dealing with and didn't want to risk getting attacked. She recorded the encounter and posted it online asking what individuals thought. Some mentioned that the creatures sounded like coyotes and foxes. Others felt it sounded more human, with time almost like a woman was crying. All these points were valid, so I did some digging around and discovered that Tennessee does indeed have coyotes and foxes. These creatures can make these kinds of noises late at night. It's highly possible that all the woman heard were these creatures, but it's also not that weird to suspect it could have been something more, something paranormal.
Oh my god.
A woman in Aceh, Indonesia captured something on camera that has left people baffled. She was filming at the beach, just taking in the view when she noticed something unusual far out in the water. At first, it was easy to miss, just a ripple near the island in the distance, but then on the right side of the water, something began to move. A long, twisting shape slithered across the ocean's surface. It didn't look like a wave, it didn't move like a fish. Given how far out she was, whatever this was had to be massive. Some people think she caught proof of a sea serpent, one of the most elusive creatures of folklore, a legend that's been told for centuries but never confirmed. Others think it could be an enormous eel, a giant oarfish, or maybe even an illusion or mirage caused by the interplay between light and water. The footage is not clear enough to say for sure, and that only adds to the mystery. The ocean has always held secrets, some that we may never fully understand. This may just be another piece of the puzzle that is yet to be solved. Despite only being the first quarter of the year, we've experienced many natural disasters across the globe, with the latest being a series of serious earthquakes around the globe. The clip on your screen currently comes from Thailand, where an earthquake has led to some rather interesting developments. The earthquake did leave cracks in the soil, but that wasn't all. When the natives came out, they saw a grayish-blue sand-like substance in the soil. Some thought it was a new substance oozing out of the soil, whereas a few others saw it as a sign of impending doom. After doing a little digging around on the internet, I discovered that the phenomenon is likely caused by soil liquefaction. This is a process that occurs during strong earthquakes when water-saturated soil temporarily loses its strength and behaves like a liquid. As the ground shakes, underground layers of sand or sediment can be forced upward through cracks, creating what is known as a sand boil or earthquake venting. This explains why a mysterious substance appeared after the earthquake. Since the material seemed to be emerging over time, it suggested a continuous release of pressure from below the surface. The grayish-blue color of the sand could be due to the presence of specific underground minerals. So while I'm all for the wild news and conspiracies, it doesn't look like there's any here. At least, not yet. In Indonesia, a group of villagers stumbled upon something truly bizarre. A massive creature was floating in the river, its sheer size leaving everyone in shock. It measured an estimated 23 meters long and 4 meters wide, far too large to be anything ordinary. No one could say for sure what it was. The footage shows a bloated, decaying body, its features obscured by time and water. Some believe it's the carcass of a whale, somehow carried inland by the currents. Others suspect it could be something far more mysterious, an unknown deep-sea creature that drifted up from the depths. Without official confirmation, the truth remains unknown. unknown, but in a world where the ocean still holds countless secrets, this strange discovery only tells us not to assume we've seen every giant creature out there. That's if the image and creature shown is actually legit and true. Next, we got this guy. It's a strange capture that's got everyone in the community talking. Some think it's a new cryptid we haven't seen before, whereas others think it's AI. While I would have initially dismissed the thought and given a logical explanation for this one seems to have a number of red flags. For starters, there's no backstory or evidence to suggest where it was captured. It just magically appeared online. Also, the more you look at it, the more it looks like an individual in a costume. One team member stated that the long forearms are a dead giveaway. I'm no expert when it comes to body parts, but my gut tells me this isn't legit. At least that's what I believe. You've seen the clip, so what do you think? While the previous image might have been underwhelming, this clip is on the opposite end of the spectrum. What you're seeing is security footage from a firm in Singapore. This employee was working overnight when strange things started happening to him. It started off with the lights in the room suddenly coming on. It wasn't natural, and he knew it because he was supposed to be the only one there. After getting the shock of his life, he walks around a bit to make sure there's no one there, and the weird things do not stop. After showing it to my team members, one person pointed out that there was indeed something there with him. He stated that at the start of the video, if you pay attention to the door with the exit sign, right before the alarm goes off, you can see it. In the upper right corner, he noticed the door open and, to their shock, someone or something walked into the room. After reviewing the clip several times, I realized he was indeed right, but the big question is, what was that? And why was it in there with the man? This is something I guess we'll never truly know. One thing we can be sure about, though, is that this is an encounter he will never forget. It's believed that sometimes when people go into the spiritual world, whether through near-death experiences, astral projection, or even comas, they might end up bringing something back with them. Now, we don't know if this applies here, but the story is chilling. A woman shared a picture from 2005 of her son, who'd just woken up from a coma. It was a joyful moment, so the family gathered around and snapped a photograph of him in bed, all smiling. But when they looked at the picture later, they noticed something strange. On the left side of the bed, near the edge of the frame, there was a dark, shadowy figure. It looked like the head of a woman, but the entire figure was pitch black, and here's the creepiest part. It was leaning over the bed almost as if it had posed for the picture along with the family. Everyone was shocked. Some people suggested that it could have just been a dark-skinned person standing nearby, maybe a nurse or a family member wearing dark clothing, but others weren't so sure. The paranormal community believes this might be an entity that followed the boy back from the other side when he returned from his coma. What do you think?
No manches,
Mira.
ve.
No mames, ve. ¿Ve eso? Mames, eso está bien cabrón.
No manches, pa. No. Mira. Ay, Dios mío. Dios mío.
No te pases de lanza.
No.
I know that there are a lot of mysteries out there, but this is a scene I wouldn't want a chance on. The uploader of the footage claims they were driving through a remote area one evening when they noticed something ahead of them. Thinking it was an animal, they slowed down so they wouldn't hit it. In slowing down, however, they noticed a human lying there with another being or set of beings looking down on it. It's not clear what they were doing, but what's certainly clear is that they were harming the individual. In what exact way, we can't tell. The clip ends shortly and the individual doesn't let us know what they did after. I would have turned around and driven the hell away if it was just the entities, but we also see an innocent human lying there. My mind would have been all over the place trying to come up with an escape plan. We concluded that whatever that was, it was a demon. While we were discussing, Julius walked in his usual skeptical self and then watched the clip for a while and then said it was fake. He also mentioned that there were enough individuals in the video to fit into one car. Per his analysis, these guys drove into the area, changed into their costumes, and then set up the scene to make it look like the way it does. Well, we all laughed at his skepticism when he said it, but then the more we thought about it, the more we realized he's probably right, which, quite frankly, scared us even more.
Is Julius making atheists out of us? That in itself is a scary thought.
La bestia. ¿Qué es esa madre? Mira. ¿Cómo le está haciendo Naomi? Hay que pasarle por encima. Le pasaría por encima, pero está el señor ahí.
No te pases.
Miren.
Here's an interesting one for all the Bigfoot believers out there. A man ventured deep into the woods in search of Bigfoot, recording his surroundings as he navigated the dense forest. Though he saw nothing unusual at the time, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was out there. He lingered, focusing his camera on the area before heading home, but it wasn't until he reviewed the footage that he noticed something chilling. Hidden among the trees, partially camouflaged, was a face that looked almost human but with ape-like features, exactly how Bigfoot is often described. The creature wasn't moving, it was just there, watching him silently and intently. While Bigfoot is often described as massive, many also believe that there are experts at staying hidden, keeping their distance from humans and avoiding detection at all costs. There's a theory that they're capable of bending light, which allows them to camouflage themselves. Many who saw this clip believed that's exactly what was happening, but some were skeptical. They felt that this was just not it. They believed either this was staged or the person filming was just naive. Harsh words, I know, but one thing Bigfoot enthusiasts hate more than people saying Bigfoot doesn't exist is someone faking an encounter. Anyway, you've seen the clip, so what do you think? This next footage comes from Indonesia, and I have to say it's pretty, interesting. It was just around nighttime. The sky had that deep, dark blue hue, and everything seemed normal until you look at the clouds. Right there in the sky, you could see what looks like a massive wall of clouds slowly rolling in. It's almost as if something huge is about to descend onto the people below. It looks like a storm or some kind of disaster is about to strike, and yet people are just going about their day, walking around like nothing's wrong. And that's because, well, nothing is wrong. What we're seeing here is called a shelf cloud. These clouds may look ominous, but they're actually just a natural weather phenomenon. They form when cold air from a storm pushes against warm air, creating this dramatic rolling effect in the sky. But if you didn't know what it was, it'd definitely give off some end-of-the-world vibes. What do you think if you saw this in person?
वाकई में से मेरी पहली बार नजर आया क्या मामला
Chile has long been known as one of the world's hot spots for UFO sightings. While some people laugh it off as a hoax, others truly believe there's something unexplained happening in their sky. This video was taken by a group of mountain climbers who were on Antuco volcano when they spotted something bizarre. Luckily, they captured it on camera. Floating in the sky was a shiny object, completely still. But what made it even stranger was the thin beam of light that seemed to be shooting straight up into the sky and another beam going straight down toward the ground. When they zoomed in, the object looked triangular in shape. After the footage was shared online, people were quick to call it a UFO because, well, honestly, what else could it be? Skeptics had their own theories, though. Some suggested it could be a trick of light, maybe a reflection from a window, or even a military experiment. But at the end of the day, who really knows? What do you think it could be? Have you ever heard of the Adelaide Jail? It's one of the oldest surviving structures in South Australia, dating back to the 1800s. It was originally built as a permanent prison. The facility has been repurposed over the years, but its dark past still lingers. With such a history of suffering and death, it's no surprising that the Adelaide Jail has a reputation for being haunted. Visitors and staff alike have reported strange occurrences, from unexplained footsteps to the jingling of keys even when no one else is there. Now, let's talk about this eerie photograph. A woman who visited the jail took a picture inside one of the rooms. At first glance, the image just looks hazy, likely due to movement, but then look closely behind her. There in the background is a dark figure, its head covered by what looks like a hood or a cloak. The woman was shocked when she reviewed the photograph because, according to her, she had felt uneasy and even slightly sick the moment she entered the building. Many believe the jail is haunted by the spirit of a former prison guard whose presence is often sensed in the form of heavy footsteps and the rattling of keys. Given that backstory, many who saw the image believe she may have encountered the prison guard. The big question, however, is why was the guard following them? And why was it particularly behind her? Next, we got this clip captured by a motion camera system on private property. At first glance, it looks like there's nothing there, and that it's false positive, but a closer look and you'll realize that there's a figure moving through the trees. Can you see it? It's actually hold on a minute. Maybe I should let you guys do the commentary on this one. If you can see what I see, do your own commentary and let us know what your theory is. If you think the whole thing is fake too, do not hesitate to let me know.
The best answer gets featured in the next episode, so come on! Let's see you OGs out there. The floor is yours.
Recently, we covered a video of a strange object hovering over the pyramids of Giza. Now, in this next clip, a woman in Tennessee spotted a similar-looking object in the sky right outside her house. The object is oddly shaped and no one seems to know exactly what it is. As expected, the paranormal community quickly labeled it a UFO, believing it to be proof of extraterrestrial activity. But skeptics have a different take. Some pointed out that the woman didn't zoom in on the object, making it hard to tell exactly what it was. Others even questioned the legitimacy of the footage, suggesting it could have been clipped from the Giza sighting or possibly edited to create a similar effect. What do you think? Remember back during the pandemic when 5G towers were popping up everywhere? People were so suspicious of them that some even went as far as burning them down, believing they were somehow connected to the spread of COVID-19. Well, guess what? The government has found some pretty interesting ways to hide these 5G transmitters in plain sight. This man has been going around exposing just how cleverly these towers are disguised. Take a look at this streetlight. It looks normal, right? But when he removes the cover, there's a 5G transmitter hidden in it. And it doesn't stop there. That water tower is actually housing 5G equipment. And that pine tree, not so natural. It's got a 5G setup hidden inside, planted by TT Mobile, a major telecom company. These 5G transmitters are everywhere, and most of us don't even realize it. Some are concerned about this because of the frequencies they claim these towers emit. To them, we're basically living inside a giant microwave. If that's the truth, it's hard to say with all the mixed information out there.
Let's see what's inside. This is an LED 5G streetlight. This is a 5G cellular tower disguised as a water tower. You can tell it's a pine tree planted by T-Mobile because of the way that it is. This particular Itron smart meter has a special feature. That's suspicious.
Over the years, our cooking utensils have changed a lot. We've used steel, non-stick, clay pots, and more, but every time there seems to be some issue with the materials they're made from. So what's the most recommended option? Wooden utensils. But did you know that even wooden utensils can be harmful if not cleaned properly? Since wood is porous, it soaks up liquids from food, and if it's not washed and dried well, it can become a breeding ground for bacteria. Over time, this can lead to cross-contamination, which may cause foodborne illnesses. To keep wooden utensils clean and safe, a simple trick is to boil them in water for about 15 to 20 minutes to kill any bacteria. After boiling, they should be left to dry completely before storing. Another useful step is to rub olive oil on them, which helps condition the wood and prevent it from absorbing too much moisture. By following these steps, you can make sure your wooden utensils stay clean, safe, and long-lasting. Did you know about this trick? If you're wondering why this segment came up, you have to thank Jeanette, our intern with the love of food. If you love it, we may include more helpful tips, even though we are a paranormal channel.
Hey, Janet, should we do like Janet's Helpful Tips channel? What do you think, huh? No? She's not interested.
Here we have a picture from way back in 1919. A family was gathered in their living room, posing by the Christmas tree for a photograph. Everything seemed normal at first, but when the picture was developed, they noticed something strange at the top of the tree. There, hovering above the tree, was a hazy, ghost-like figure. It looked like a woman with her arms stretched out, almost as if she was embracing the tree. But what made it even eerier was the way the figure appeared. It had a distorted spiral-like shape, making it look even more unnatural. No one in the family had noticed anything unusual at the time the photograph was taken. There was no strange feelings, no cold spots, and no sounds, just a regular family gathering. This has led many to believe that it could be the spirit of a past family member watching over them during the holidays. Of course, skeptics argue that it could be a flaw in the photograph, a trick of the light, or even a smudge on the camera lens. And for those who believe in the paranormal, this image is chilling proof that spirits might still linger among us. When I first saw this image, I thought, what a funny-looking shark. But then I realized I couldn't see any eyes, and that's when it hit me. This isn't the shark's face at all, it's the underbelly. Looking at it from this angle, it almost seems like a big, smiling face with its mouth wide open and rows of razor-sharp teeth lined up inside. It's crazy how perspective can change the way we see things. What looked like a goofy, grinning creature at first turned out to be something entirely different. Nature has a way of surprising us like that. Also, I think it looks like the Joker from Batman. Do you see it? Over the years, we've seen many conspiracy theories turn out to be true, but does that mean all of them are? Recently, I came across footage showing what looked like an ocean pulling away from the shore. In some coastal areas, the water seemed to be receding more and more, leaving behind dry land where there was once waves. There was even footage of scuba divers caught in this phenomenon, the ocean appearing to move backwards. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the ocean is mysteriously shrinking and no one has a clear explanation for it. But then, on the other hand, we constantly hear about rising sea levels due to melting ice caps and global warming. So which is it? Is the ocean disappearing, or is it actually expanding? Could this be fake news? Some experts have already debunked the scuba diver footage, explaining that what we are actually seeing isn't the ocean pulling away permanently. It was actually caused by an undersea earthquake. When a major seismic event happens underwater, it can temporarily push water away before it comes rashing back as a tsunami. So why does false information like this spread so easily? Is it because people want to believe in dramatic world-ending theories, or is it just a case of misunderstanding natural events? Someone shared this footage they took one night, believing they'd captured a rake. The video was very dark, but we can still make out the outline of a figure. It appears to be a pale, humanoid creature crouching on the ground with round, glowing eyes. This description matches the typical depiction of a rake, a terrifying creature from internet folklore. However, skeptics believe this could easily be staged, perhaps someone wearing a costume with glowing eye effects. In today's world of CGI and digital editing, almost anything is possible. The footage is also not very clear, making it difficult to get a proper judgment. Without more details or a better quality video, it's hard to say for sure. What do you think? Could this be an actual sighting or just another internet hoax? Let's take a look at one of the famous plane glitch footage. In the paranormal community, one of the most popular glitch phenomenon involves a plane appearing to be stuck mid-air. In this video, as the car drives past a tall building, a plane above seems completely frozen in the sky. However, the sound of the plane can still be heard, as if it's moving, but visually, it's just stuck in one place. Most skeptics argue that this has to do with the perspective of the camera, an optical illusion caused by motion parallax or a rolling shutter effect. However, in this particular case, the plane is so close and clearly visible, well, it just doesn't seem like a trick of the perspective. So is this a real glitch in reality, or could this be a hoax? As humans, we can piece together the past through the artifacts we uncover around the world, and sometimes even through skeletal remains. This is how scientists form the theory that dinosaurs once existed. Though not everyone fully agrees with this idea, but what if they did? Back in 1944, scientists discovered a collection of intriguing figurines in Mexico. These small sculptures appeared to resemble dinosaur-like creatures, and not just that, but even UFO-like objects. Now, if scientists claim that humans didn't exist during the age of dinosaurs, how could ancient civilizations have created such accurate depictions of them? Did humans and dinosaurs once coexist, or could it be that another intelligent being, if not us, knew these creatures long before modern paleontology? What do you think?
What the? Oh my god.
This was supposed to have captured by a group of stargazers who just wanted a peaceful night under the stars. But instead of quiet, mesmerizing views of the cosmos, they ended up witnessing something that looked more like intergalactic battle. Bright lights of different colors streaked across the sky, flashing and shifting in ways that defied explanation. I've watched the clips multiple times, and a part of me really wants to believe this is real. The movement, the intensity, the sheer spectacle of it all, it's just hard to ignore. But with AI-generated visuals becoming more advanced, it's not impossible to question it. Maybe it's an atmospheric phenomenon, maybe it's something else entirely, or maybe, just maybe, it's nothing at all. I'm not sure what to think, so I'm turning this over to you. What do you guys make of it?
What the? Oh my god.
While you think about that, we take to the skies for our next clip. What do you think is going on here? It's not every day you see a light source in the sky during broad daylight. That's not the sun, is it? This made the one who uploaded the clip believe that what he was looking at was nothing more than a portal. I know some of you may be tempted to laugh at that assertion, but we've had some very convincing clips on this channel that would suggest that believing that portals exist isn't as crazy as many would make it out to be. This clip, however, is on the blurry and low quality side. As disappointing as that might be because it makes it hard to properly analyze this video, we must remind ourselves that not everyone has the money to afford a phone with a high-quality camera. So we're gonna have to go with our gut feeling on this one. What do you guys think? Could this truly be a portal, or is someone playing games with us? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Some Bigfoot enthusiasts recently ventured out to a well-known Bigfoot hotspot called Sasquatch Canyon, hoping to uncover some evidence of the elusive creature, and they were not disappointed. In the sand along the water's edge, they discovered a massive track. This area has a history of similar findings, with various people reporting tracks in the same spot. The one they found this time was about 17 inches long and 8 inches wide. Interestingly, the tracks found in this location have varied in size, leading some to believe that a family of Bigfoot could be living there. Each discovery seems to add more weight to the idea that something big is roaming the area. Could this be definitive proof of Bigfoot's existence? What do you think? Well, folks, if you thought Danny's video was a little spooky, wait till you see this one. This cat owner was just minding his own business and taking a cute snapshot of his furry friend. Sounds like a harmless and fun activity, right? But when he later checked the photo, things took a creepy turn. Right there in the background, amidst the dark woods, you can spot a pair of glowing eyes. Now, we all know nocturnal animals have eyes that reflect light, especially at night. But these eyes have that extra dash of eeriness, don't they? It's like they're sending chills down your spine, or am I the only one feeling those chills? Either way, you have to wonder, what could those eyes belong to? Some might say it's just a regular nocturnal critter, but there's always that lingering possibility, isn't there? That possibility that it might be something straight out of a campfire ghost story, like the infamous Dogman. Perhaps my imagination is running wild again, but what do you folks think? Regular animal or something more mysterious? Let's hear from you. The world of cryptids and elusive creatures is endlessly fascinating, and this footage captures a legendary one. While exploring the woods, an individual felt he wasn't alone, becoming alert and spotting this elusive creature among the trees. Hoping he could catch whatever it was on camera, he took out his phone to record, and the footage playing out on your screen is what he recorded. As the camera pans through the woods, we see it, a large, ape-like figure moving amongst the trees. Despite being quite shaky, many consider this footage a classic Bigfoot sighting. You know, that legendary cryptid that's been the talk of campfires for ages. These Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, sightings are scattered all over the place. These legendary creatures are known to inhabit remote, rugged terrain, making sightings extremely rare. That makes any footage involving them, like this particular one, gold for those who study and believe in the existence of these elusive beings. Even with all the sightings, we're still scratching our heads about what Bigfoot is. It's like they'd leave just enough breadcrumbs to keep us curious, but not enough to give away the whole story. So for now, we'll keep our eyes on the woods and our cameras rolling, hoping for that one shot that finally unravels the mystery. Here we have another Bigfoot sighting. This one is an image taken by a Bigfoot researcher in the Hoosier National Forest in Indiana. The man had set up a camera in the forest and was calling out, hoping to attract a Bigfoot. Then, right in front of him, there was a creature among the trees. It looked to be hiding behind a very thin tree, trying to peek at the man behind the camera. He managed to capture a photo of the creature, which stood perfectly still on two legs, revealing a domed head and broad shoulders. The researcher believes he documented exactly what he came for, a glimpse of Bigfoot. What do you think? Could this be real deal or just another case of mistaken identity or even fraud? Next, we turn our eyes to Taiwan. Take a look. The individual who first uploaded this thought he was looking at an iridescent cloud. Frankly, I don't understand how the term iridescent has become so popular. But don't mind me. I digressed. The individual thought the clouds looked beautiful and started to record. After a few seconds, he realized that there was no way what he was recording could be a cloud. This prompted him to record some more till the clouds around the bright object moved a little to reveal what you see. Now, I'm no nephologist, but that doesn't look like a cloud to me. It looks like an alien ship, but why Taiwan? Why would aliens go to Taiwan? I don't know, but I feel I have a hunch. Not many know this, but the world's most advanced semiconductors are produced in Taiwan. If I were an alien and I knew that I wanted to experiment with and explore this planet's technology, I would go to Taiwan too. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but if I were an alien, that's where I would go. Anyway, what do you guys think is happening here? If I didn't know any better, I would assume that this is a seal chewing gum, but it's an actual species of seal called the hooded seal. Hooded seals are indeed a fascinating and unique species, known for their distinct nasal hood that males can inflate and the striking appearance it gives them. Comparing one to a seal chewing gum is a whimsical and creative way to describe their appearance. These seals are well adapted to their cold and challenging environments, primarily found in the Arctic and North Atlantic. While they may not be engaging in chewing gum, their behavior and features are captivating in their own right. Hooded seals are skilled swimmers, spending much of their lives in the ocean and occasionally coming ashore for breeding and molting. Seen one? Tell us your experience. A walk in these woods with your child can be a peaceful and picturesque experience, but when your child's gaze fixates on something that makes your heart race, it's a moment that's sure to leave you scared for life. That's the unfortunate reality of these individuals in our next clip. Take a look. As the camera is turned toward the direction of your child's fascination, the footage reveals a figure among the trees. Upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that this is no ordinary woodland encounter. The creature appears to be a humanoid figure shrouded in cloth like a mummy, a sight that's unsettling and haunting. They hope that this might be some sort of Halloween prank, but this wasn't taken during Halloween. They walk away from the incident unscathed, but scarred for life. This footage was taken by a security camera on the streets of India. In the video, we can see a girl crossing the road, but right behind her, something strange happens. A dark figure suddenly appears, taking on the form of a human walking right behind her. The girl, unaware of what's happening, continues walking, but then for a brief second, she glances back. That's when she sees the figure. By the time she notices it, she's almost out of the camera's view, but you can clearly see her reaction. She starts immediately running. What could this entity be? Is it some sort of ghost haunting that particular street, only revealing itself when the lady tries to cross? The timing of its appearance is definitely eerie. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about who you think this dark figure could be. Now, someone uploaded this online stating he found a strange creature looking at him through his door. Naturally, when you see this, it's likely to give you the heebie-jeebies. It looks like some sort of dark creature from the shadow realm that's looking for its next meal made of flesh and bones. Surely anyone who saw something like this out of their door would freak out. I was getting ready to write my thesis on what this might be when my video editor told me it was possible to make an ordinary dog look like this when it's recorded through some sort of thermal imager. He also added that you can get that same effect while applying effects and filters to a video. After he said those words to me, I just couldn't look at the clip the same way anymore. What if he's right and someone is just pranking us for his 5 minutes of fame? Well, now that I think about it, if that was the case, the person has probably won. But what if he's wrong? What if there's an actual creature of the night that looks like this? I just can't shake off that thought. What do you guys think, though?
In this image, we're introduced to a hairless bear, which at first glance might remind you of a lion with its distinctive mane. However, this is indeed a bear. The image was captured in Leipzig, a city in Germany, and it's within the confines of a local zoo. The zoo's garnered attention for its rather peculiar condition of some of its female bears, one of which is Dolores. She's noticeably devoid of fur, an appearance that's quite uncommon for a bear. The mysterious hair loss in these bears has left experts puzzled, and despite extensive investigation, a conclusive cause remains elusive. Now you must be wondering, is that real or is it CGI? If it's real, is it alien? Well, no, it's not. It's an actual frog. The purple frog, scientifically known as Nasicabatrachus siadrensis, is indeed a fascinating and peculiar creature. This species of frog is native to the Western Ghats in India, a region known for its rich biodiversity. The purple frog gets its name from its unique appearance. It has a purplish-brown colorization and a distinctive, somewhat bulbous body shape. What makes the purple frog particularly interesting is its unusual lifestyle. It spends most of its life underground, surfacing only during the monsoon season for a short period to breed. It has specialized adaptations for subterranean life, including a snout-like nose that helps it burrow in the soil. These frogs are considered living fossils because they represent an ancient lineage of frogs that has been around for a very long time.
If you know you can't handle gooey stuff that appears to be more alive, you might want to skip ahead by 30 seconds or more. If you're here, I take that as consent to go ahead, so enjoy. What are we looking at? Well, I don't know. It's not every day someone sends you something like this asking for answers. The clip was forwarded with no context or explanation, making it hard to discern what exactly it is we're looking at. At the beginning, I was convinced it was worms, but, well, they don't move like that. Every other idea I have has been worse than the worm idea, so I turn to you guys. Can you help me find out what it was we're dealing with? One subscriber here wants answers. If you have a fear of snakes, tunnels, or dark spaces, consider this your warning to move the clip by at least 30 seconds. If you're still here, then I want to believe you were good. Enjoy. Where do you think this was recorded? Also, what do you think we're looking at? Believe it or not, this was uploaded on one of our paranormal platforms by a relatively new user with no context. If you know anything about the internet, then you know that a debate has already started on this. Some think he might have filmed this in secret or abandoned tunnel. Others also thought he might have filmed it in a secret and experimental government facility. Others think it might have been created with CGI. I'm resisting the urge to bring Aaron and Julius into this particular conversation, but I believe if you are familiar with the two, you already know their stance on this matter. What I don't know, however, is what you think about it, so can you do me a favor and share your thoughts before we move on to the next clip?
Yes, those objects are moving up the hill instead of down. Would you believe me if I told you these occurrences are actually real? They happen in places known as gravity hills, the real-life puzzles that baffle the mind and defy the laws of physics. You see, these are extraordinary places scattered all around the globe where the ordinary rules of gravity seem to take a coffee break. Picture this. You're standing at the base of a hill, a road stretching out before you. Now, instead of things rolling down like they're supposed to, the impossible happens. Water flows uphill, cars seemingly defy gravity, and even a ball might roll the wrong way. Sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel, right? But no, these spots exist and they continue to stump scientists and thrill seekers alike. Despite all our modern knowledge, the mystery of gravity hills remains unsolved. I wish I could say this next clip isn't any weirder, but that would be a lie. This footage was captured by an adventurous individual in an unfamiliar locale. As he was exploring, he stumbled upon a spot behind a weathered white wall adorned with faded black writings. The location had grass sporadically covering the ground and vibrant trees with green leaves surrounding the area. While filming, the explorer noticed a strange humanoid figure in a squatting posture, seemingly lost in whatever it was doing. However, the recorder's actions break the cover and draw the creature's attention. With its white, pale-like ghostly-looking self, it charges towards the one filming. This causes the video to end abruptly, leaving much to the imagination afterwards. What do you think this creature was? My money is on the fact that it's a rake, but what about you? Stepping away from the creature, however, tell us what you would have done if you found yourself in this predicament. Let us know in the comments section.
Have you seen anything like this? Sure, we post strange things all the time, but we hardly have a human standing right next to one of these strange things. We're not sure what he's doing, but he seems to be communicating with that strange thing or object. Many who saw the original post were convinced this was a jinn. Someone even translated what the guy was saying, and it went like this. Look, I tried to high-five him, and he just stands there and leaves me hanging. Now, this is one of those situations I would love to hear your take on what we are seeing. Some are convinced that it's not real and these guys set it up to go viral. Others are convinced it's very real. Where do you stand among these opinions? Next up, we got a clip from West Virginia. Take a look. What comes to mind when you see this creature? The online platform I saw this on had answers like a large owl and a wooden sculpture. But take a good look. Doesn't something else come to mind? Say something that's big and got ginormous feet. If you thought Bigfoot, then you thought right. The creature appears to be ape-like with humanoid features. What's more, it appears that it's doing its best to avoid moving a lot. Perhaps it thinks having this freeze response will prevent it from being spotted, but its eyes betray it. I'm tempted to believe this is a juvenile Bigfoot, if it's really one at all. If it's a juvenile, it would explain its size and behavior, but what do you guys think?
Now, this is one of those photos that will make you do a double take. Here's the story. This lady was out in the woods recording a video, minding her own business and unaware of what was lurking behind her. But let's dive into the creepy part. If you zoom in on the image, right there amidst a pile of dried leaves, you'll spot it. A creature with an extremely pale face and those dark, hollow eyes. Your first instinct might be Bigfoot, right? Well, not so fast. Bigfoots, if they exist, aren't usually this ghostly pale. So what are we dealing with here? The possibilities are enough to send shivers down your spine. It could be a Skinwalker, a Rake, or perhaps something even more sinister. What we do know is, if that creature was still hungry, this lady might have been on the menu. It's a chilling reminder that those woods can be a mysterious and unpredictable place. So next time you're out there, keep your wits about you. Kenya, a land of rich culture and natural beauty, recently found itself at the center of a mysterious aquatic enigma. A peculiar creature washed ashore featuring the upper torso of a human seamlessly melding with the lower torso of a fish. The internet buzzed with one word: mermaid. Now, before we dive deeper into the mysteries of this maritime anomaly, we must tread carefully. The world has seen its fair share of supposed mermaid sightings, some more convincing than others. These creatures of myth and legend often elude our understanding, making it tricky to separate fact from fiction. However, this particular case does raise some compelling questions. The footage captured shows the creature's fins moving in a manner that seems rather convincing. How could this be faked? Could this be a genuine mermaid, a being of folklore that we've only dared to imagine? You tell me.
Moving on from the strange and unexplained things of the sky, take a look at these images taken on the Earth. You see a big, furry beast, right? These images were taken over the years from different geographical areas. One thing they seem to have in common is a large ape-like beast that appears to be exploring the woods. Most of the individuals who took these images believed they captured none other than the legendary Bigfoot. If you're new here, Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is a legendary creature that has captivated the imagination of people for decades. Many who have allegedly seen it describe it or him as a large, hairy, ape-like being that inhabits the remote forests of North America, particularly the Pacific Northwest. Sightings and stories of the mysterious being date back to indigenous folklore and have persisted through modern times, with numerous reported encounters, footprints, and blurry photographs fooling the myth, some of which you're seeing now. Despite scientific searches carried out by Bigfoot enthusiasts and scientific minds alike, there's not a lot to prove its existence. Some who were allowed on the subject just went silent after their expeditions to find the elusive beast. This has led some to believe that they might have actually found the beast and been sworn to an oath of secrecy. Sounds crazy, I know, but what do you think of the whole Bigfoot lore? Share your candid opinions in the comments section. This next video was filmed in complete darkness, and what the person captured is truly eerie. If you look closely, there's a figure moving about, almost blending into the shadows. It's so ethereal that you might miss it if you're not paying attention. What could this be? A ghostly apparition or something else entirely? The way it moves is unsettling, almost as if it's gliding rather than walking. What do you think?
Encounters with mysterious and potentially menacing intruders can be deeply unsettling, especially when they defy easy explanations. In this case, a person on a farm spots an intruder from a distance, but what they see is not someone they could simply approach and ask to leave the property. As they zoom in on the footage, the features of the creature come into focus, and it bears a striking resemblance to the elusive Rake. The fear and uncertainty of the situation leave the farmer standing at a distance, watching the creature with a mix of awe and trepidation. Here we have a classic case of something that could easily be mistaken for a paranormal encounter in the woods. In this piece of disturbing footage, we see a creature which appears to be slender and tall moving through the woods. The footage appears to have been taken from a window, which means it was taken closer to civilization. Could this be the Slender Man we've always heard about? Could its true form be what we are seeing, or is this simply another entity altogether? It's hard for us to say, but do tell us what you think.
What you're looking at is footage of a celestial body taken by an amateur astronomer. In the video, there's an oddly shaped object floating across its surface. The astronomer described it as a gigantic object, but even he had no idea what it could be. Given the amateur status of the astronomer, it's possible that this could be a natural phenomenon, a man-made object, or even an optical illusion. However, the size and shape of the object raises intriguing questions. Could it be a piece of space debris, a shadow cast by a lunar feature, or something entirely different? I guess we'll never know. Back in 1974, a family named Betts stumbled upon a mysterious metal ball on their property. Intrigued, they took it home, but soon began to notice strange occurrences. The ball seemed to have a life of its own. It could move on its own and would even follow the family members when they walked by it. It also produced odd sounds that no one could quite explain. This bizarre object quickly gained attention and was dubbed the Betts Sphere. The phenomenon caught the interest of the U.S. Navy, and various scientists conducted tests to determine its original purpose, but nothing conclusive was ever discovered. This lack of explanation has fueled speculation that the sphere might be some form of alien technology. As time passed, the news about the Betts Sphere gradually faded, and today its whereabouts remain unknown. The mystery of the Betts Sphere continues to intrigue those who hear about its story. Could it have really been an extraterrestrial artifact, or was it simply a product of human imagination?
Mysterious trail cam images like these can indeed boggle the mind and stir the imagination. In the first image, we're presented with a worm-like creature featuring an eerie human arm, which is truly grotesque and an unsettling sight. The creature resembles a fleshy blob that seems more at home in a sci-fi horror movie than in the depths of the wilderness. In the subsequent image, we encounter a creature that bears some similarities, but with an added eerie twist. This time, it sports two large fangs protruding from its mouth, along with a set of razor-sharp teeth. The contrast between the two images is enough to leave anyone pondering the nature of these mysterious creatures.
Are they the result of some natural anomaly? Are we dealing with an optical illusion or a prankster's creation? Whatever the case is, these trail cam images are unsettling, and I pray no one has to encounter creatures such as these. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. If you thought the previous one was strange, I'm not sure how you're going to take this next one. Yup, that's an actual capture, at least according to the one who uploaded it. We see a distinct and unusually large head on a small body that has no fur. We aren't sure if the fur was lost after the creature died or if it's always been like that. The individual who uploaded this believes it's a Chupacabra, and I understand why they would think that. But is it possible we're misidentifying a known animal that may have died sick or without its fur? Even Aaron is a bit skeptical about this one, but let's hear your thoughts. What do you think we're dealing with here? A real-life Chupacabra or something a bit more mundane? I'll be reading the comments for your input. While you do that, riddle me this. Have you heard of the Grim Reaper? Oh, sure you have, but have you seen images like this pop up online? Yes, there's an accident scene, but that's not where my focus is. Do you see the image of a man, or at least a humanoid creature standing on top of the vehicle? Seen it now? Well, this is a phenomenon some individuals have observed when it comes to vehicles involved in accidents. Whenever images are taken of such accidents, there's always a strange-looking being or an isolated individual looking at the vehicles involved in the accident that was not physically present when the photo was taken. This individual always shows up only in the photos. Sometimes they simply wear dark clothes, sometimes they may come with a scythe, which is the famed and well-known weapon of the Grim Reaper. There are some who also think that sometimes these images simply capture the departing souls of those involved in the accident. I know I haven't mentioned them in a while, but Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, believes that the Grim Reaper is real and these images may just as well have captured him. Julius, as usual, thinks that the images are probably photoshopped as the Grim Reaper doesn't make scientific sense, and if you are here for the first time, Julius is our in-house scientist. Now, these two can't seem to agree on what we're looking at, and I don't want to be caught in their feud, so I would refrain from sharing my opinion. You, on the other hand, can do so without worrying about dealing with these two, so do tell me, what do you think is going on here? What this trail cam recorded is truly disturbing. One might assume that only those who risk their lives for exciting content encounter the strangest creatures, but sometimes even those going about their ordinary work activities encounter some of the strangest things, and this next clip is an example of that. In this video, two men are waist deep in a water-filled cave working when they hear strange sounds. As the saying goes, curiosity killed the cat, but that doesn't deter them. They follow the sound to an area piled high with stones. One of them attempts to move the stones when something catches their attention. They discover a creature that resembles a deformed baby or some sort of small creature in the area blocked by the stones. The sight terrifies the man, and we see him pointing in bewilderment. It's said that they bolted out of the place after they didn't want to stay and find out if the creature was dangerous or murderous. Speaking of what they saw hidden in that small cave, what do you think that strange creature is? Sometimes it's the little things in life that make our day brighter, right? Take a look at this bear, which might not fit your description of your everyday hero, yet appears to know a thing or two about good manners. The bear was just minding its own bear business, strolling down a road when it suddenly spotted a traffic cone knocked down and just waiting to be set right. Now, most of us would probably walk on by, but not our furry friend here. No, sir, this bear takes a moment out of its busy day to do a good deed, picking up that cone and putting it back where it belongs. It's like a lesson on politeness from the wild. While it's cute and beautiful to see, perhaps we ought to learn a thing or two from this bear. When something isn't right, and it's in your power to make it right, don't hesitate to do it. In this video, a woman set up her phone to film herself while comparing new hair clip-ins to her natural hair, ensuring the colors matched perfectly. She was home alone with her toddler, who was quietly playing out of view on the floor. Focusing entirely on her task, she had no idea anything unusual was happening. But then, in the background, something strange happened. For a brief moment, a forehead seemed to peek out from behind her raised arm. It was subtle, almost too easy to miss. She didn't notice a thing at the time, too busy with her hair. It wasn't until later when she reviewed the footage that she spotted the eerie figure. A shiver ran down her spine. She was absolutely certain no one else was in the house. So who or what was it? Could it have been an uninvited guest, a trick of the light, or something paranormal? This footage shows a bird stuck in mid-air, giving the impression that it's frozen in time. While it appears to be gliding, its body doesn't move forward as expected, as though an unseen force is holding it in place. Some suggest natural explanations, like the bird encountering a strong headwind that matches its flying speed, creating the illusion of it being stationary. In rare cases, technical glitches in video recording equipment, such as frame rate synchronization issues, can also produce this effect. However, others see it as evidence of something more mysterious, perhaps a glitch in reality or even an unexplainable force at play. You've seen it too. What say you? Personally, I know for a fact that this is real, as I've been up on places where I've seen birds do this right in front of my eyes. I'm just saying.
Next, a camper in the Appalachian Mountains shared eerie footage from an evening at his campsite. As darkness fell, unsettling sounds echoed around him. It was of a woman screaming and dogs barking in the distance. Despite panning his camera through the surrounding darkness, he saw nothing. I know what you're thinking. Why was he recording in the first place? Well, the Appalachian Mountains have a notorious reputation for unexplained phenomena and unsettling experiences, with stories of strange creatures, ghostly apparitions, and eerie sounds passed down through generations. If you're camping in such a place, you would want your camera rolling. But you gotta wonder, if it can get dangerous, why do some people willingly go into such an enigmatic and often foreboding wilderness? It's hard to say, but perhaps it's the thrill of the unknown or the allure of discovering something extraordinary. For some, it may just be because it serves as a chilling reminder of the mysteries that still linger in the wild. Would you dare to camp there overnight?
My dog and I come out here every night for a walk, and I have this insane spotlight. What the hell is that? Nyla, get over here right now. Hey! Nyla! What the is that? Nyla, come here.
Next, we travel back in time to the 18th of December 2024, where a TikTok video surfaced that left viewers puzzled. The clip was recorded in Wisconsin by a man who decided to record his evening walk through an unusually thick blanket of fog. As he panned his camera toward a nearby wooded area, something eerie happened. The camera captured several pairs of eyes reflected in the light staring back at him from the shadows of the trees. Yeah, that's definitely a sight no one will want to see, but that's not even the strangest part. As soon as his flashlight illuminated the eyes, they disappeared into the darkness. The unsettling encounter was enough to spook the man, who quickly called his dog and left the area. But you have to wonder, what could have caused the dense fog? What could these glowing eyes belong to? Could they have been animals startled by the light, or was something more mysterious lurking in the woods, watching him through the fog? My money's on the latter, but what do you also think?
And I had this insane spotlight. What the hell is that? Nyla, get over here right now. Hey! Nyla! What the is that? Nyla, come here.
Two men decided to explore an abandoned sewer tunnel, hoping to uncover some mysteries locked within. There seemed to be a sealed mesh door blocking their entry. Despite their efforts, the door was impossible to open, forcing them to remain outside the tunnel. As they lingered, strange sounds began to echo from deep within the tunnel. They were eerie noises that seemed to carry a mysterious presence. The men couldn't see anything beyond the mesh, but the sounds were enough to send chills down their spines. Some believe it could be an animal, while others suspect something more sinister, perhaps a cryptid. Aaron suspects the latter, but what say you?
A fairy? Wait, actually, what the hell? Guys, that does not look like an ordinary mug. Okay, I'm catching this fairy, bro. What the frick?
In this next footage, a group of friends was hanging out late one night when something unexpected flew by. At first glance, it seemed to be a glowing insect like a firefly. That's what everyone thought until it got closer to the camera. As the creature approached, it became clear that this was no ordinary firefly. Unlike fireflies, which only have a small glowing spot in their bodies, this creature's entire body seemed to glow. Its wings moved incredibly fast, making it difficult to make out distinct features, but the way it darted around was mesmerizing. What could this be? Most insects are easy to identify, but this one's glowing form and unusual movement have led many to believe this could be a fairy. What do you think?
Ooh, a fairy? Wait, actually, what the hell? Guys, that does not look like an ordinary mug. Okay, I'm catching this fairy, bro. What the frick?
There's some uplifting news coming out of Russia. The country has announced the development of an mRNA cancer vaccine. Yeah, you heard that right. This breakthrough could signal a turning point in the fight against cancer, potentially saving countless lives. The vaccine is designed to help the body recognize and attack cancerous cells starting early, effectively stopping the disease before it even starts. What's more, the Russian government has pledged to provide the vaccine free of charge to its citizens, a move that could revolutionize healthcare accessibility. Another remarkable aspect of this innovation is its adaptability. Using AI, the vaccine can reportedly be made or customized within an hour, allowing for rapid responses to different types of cancer. If everything proceeds as planned, the vaccine is said to be launched by 2025. This groundbreaking development brings hope to millions. It's inspiring to think we're moving closer to a future where cancer could become a manageable or even preventable condition. What are your thoughts on this game-changing innovation?
Мы вплотную подошли к созданию так называемых онковакцин, вакцин против рака и иммуномодулирующих препаратов.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Bro. Come on, Max. You see that?
A couple in East Jackson, Mississippi captured strange footage while watching a live weather stream. In the night sky behind the clouds, something peculiar appeared, huge orbs moving in a straight line. The way these shapes emerge and shift within the clouds is very odd. Are they natural phenomena like rare lighting effects, or is it something less explainable? With such odd movements, some might speculate about advanced technology, atmospheric anomalies, or extraterrestrial presence. Whatever the case, it's another curious mystery that adds to the list of strange occurrences in our skies. Is there anyone with answers for this particular mystery here?
They found it. Look at that. Look at that.
On December the 4th, 2024, witnesses captured footage of unusual lights streaking across the sky. The lights appeared to be emanating from objects descending toward Earth, sparking widespread curiosity and debate. Some observers suggest that the phenomenon might be space debris re-entering Earth's atmosphere and burning up as it falls. This explanation aligns with the fiery trails and bright flashes often associated with atmospheric re-entry. Others, however, speculate that the lights could be UFOs. What are your thoughts? Could this be a routine cosmic event, or are we witnessing something extraordinary?
Ni yangใหญ่เลย น่าจะติดที่อะไรแล้วก็ตายจมน้ำตาย อันนี้น่าจะแค่ครึ่งท่อนหลังนะ ตัวอะไรครับเนี่ยอนาคอนดาใช่ไหม
That's exactly what you think it is, a giant snake. I knew some snakes could get really large, but that's on a whole different level. It appears to have recently eaten just before the flag, given its protruded belly. At least that was my working theory until Julius showed up from nowhere and stated that the python had drowned. I argued it was moving, but he stated it only appeared to be moving because of the water not being still. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, but does any of you know which exact species this python is? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section.
นี่ยังใหญ่เลย น่าจะติดที่อะไรแล้วก็ตายจมน้ำตาย อันนี้น่าจะแค่ครึ่งท่อนหลังนะ ตัวอะไรครับเนี่ยอนาคอนดาใช่ไหม ตรงปากทางเข้าแยกฮอนด้า
A family had an unsettling experience one day that left them shaken. It started when their young boy ran into his mother's room visibly terrified, screaming that someone was in the house. Everyone quickly gathered in the room and they could hear the distinct sound of heavy footsteps echoing through the home. Despite their fears, the mother decided to investigate, but no one was there. To find out what had frightened her son, she checked the security footage from the kitchen. What she saw left her uneasy. In the footage, her son was innocently taking a snack from the fridge when a chilling, disembodied voice whispered, "How did you find me?" The boy's genuine reaction of fear in the video was undeniable as he fled to his mother's room. Since that night, the boy has been too frightened to go out of his room, especially to the kitchen area. Poor kid.
Y'all, if the top of the pot starts spinning, what that mean? Like what I'm supposed to do at this point?
So I have been looking at this clip for several minutes. The individual who uploaded the clip stated it was a glitch and he himself was shocked. I wanted to find a logical explanation for the whole thing, and that sent me down a rabbit hole of many scientific theories and conversations with AI. Sure, I could have asked Julius, but he would have just laughed at me. From my research on scientific part of things, if the top part of a cooking pot, such as the lid, is spinning, it could be the result of normal factors like loose fitting or lightweight lid, steam escaping during boiling, or vibrations from the stove. It could also indicate potential issues such as an uneven stove surface, a warped pot base, or loose components. In the case of pressure cookers, spinning may suggest a problem with the pressure release valve that requires immediate attention. Looking at the clip, however, it doesn't seem to have any of these issues, and that's definitely not a pressure cooker. So do we go with the glitch hypothesis?
Y'all, if the top of the pot starts spinning, what that mean? Like what I'm supposed to do at this point?
Strange things have been happening across East Idaho. Residents have reported hearing loud, unexplained booms that are so powerful they shake homes. These booms occur multiple times a week and have left many baffled. While some local news outlets have attributed the sounds to skyquakes, many believe there's more to the story. One Idaho resident, Aaron, has been sharing his experience on TikTok.
This has been happening all over East Idaho in several small towns, especially out in the country where it's quieter. But we've been hearing loud booms, like explosions, specifically at night, over the past 2 months.
He's been documenting the mysterious booms even after allegedly being approached by law enforcement and asked to take his videos down.
Shortly after posting my video about the booms, I have a law enforcement friend. He came over to my house and said, "Hey, Aaron, it'd be a good idea to pull the video you posted about the booms and not talk about it anymore." He didn't tell me if he knew what they were or what they were doing it for, but he says as an agency, they've been told to deny, deflect, and diffuse.
Aaron refused, continuing to post updates and theories about what might be causing these earth-shaking sounds. Things got even weirder when a seismologist who had set up devices to investigate the phenomenon and was preparing to release a story about the booms suddenly passed away from a heart attack.
Before they could actually run the story, he had a heart attack. And he's gone. So that got me thinking that there's something going on with these booms that we're not supposed to know about. So if I stop making videos, guys, you'll know why.
This unexpected death only fueled speculation, with many wondering if there was a deliberate effort to suppress information. However, Aaron's most recent video has raised even more concern among his followers. In this clip, Aaron is seen cooking beans and salted pork, but viewers couldn't help but notice that something was off.
I've been talking a lot about the booms lately, and today I'm going to show you how to make natural booms. And that's with beans.
He appeared not quite like his usual self. Some even speculated that he might have been coerced or tampered with in some way. Could the higher-ups have gotten to Aaron? Are these strange booms connected to something being hidden from the public? What do you think is happening in East Idaho?
Just because I know a lot of you are worried about me, so I want to get a video out just to let you know I'm okay and everything's normal. We're even still talking about the booms a little bit. Just cooking the beans.
Moving on, we've got what I like to call one of the closest encounters we have ever shared.
Watch out, you better not die, you better not crash, I'm telling you why, 'cause you told your wife you weren't at work.
This clip starts off with a man singing and telling himself not to crash because he came skiing when he told his wife he was at work. It was a humorous start, and I was expecting something funny to happen, until his GoPro, which is what I'm assuming he's using, caught wind of something humanoid walking to his right. From what we briefly see, it's humanoid with a human gait and fur all around. There's no way that area has chimps living it, which leads to one conclusion. That's right, the big guy, Bigfoot. Most individuals like myself always suspect the Yeti would be the one to be found in these areas, but perhaps I and everyone else like me is wrong. What do you think?
Watch out, you better not die, you better not crash, I'm telling you why, 'cause you told your wife you're at work.
Japan is known for its technological advancements and cultural richness, but despite all that, it faces challenges with mental health, including one of the highest self-harm rates in the world. One of the most common methods is individuals jumping in front of trains. To address this heartbreaking issue, Japan has implemented innovative measures to curb these incidents. One such measure is the installation of blue LED lights in the subway and train stations across the country. Research suggests the blue light has a calming effect on the mind, potentially reducing impulsive behaviors. The soothing glow creates a more tranquil environment, helping individuals in distress rethink their actions during moments of crises. This is a step toward creating safer, more supporting spaces for everyone, and while it's something we should applaud, it has me thinking. Are our government secretly implementing things to make us behave in a certain way? I know I'm reaching with this one, but think about it. This footage from New Jersey has captivated many. It shows a glowing orb gracefully moving across the night sky, encircled by an ethereal glowing halo. Witnesses describe it as mesmerizing, with some even calling it an angel. Atmospheric phenomena like ball lightning or ice crystals refracting light are also possibilities, but such events are rare and don't often move with the deliberate grace seen here. Could it truly be something divine, as many believe, or perhaps it's a UFO or a drone with advanced lighting technology? A man was alone in the woods and decided to turn on his camera and record his surroundings. While scanning the area, he captured something eerie. There was an old figure walking by. The figure had the shape of an older person draped in a robe. What made the sighting particularly unsettling was how the figure seemed to appear out of nowhere, walking calmly before disappearing right next to an abandoned structure in the woods. After the figure disappeared, he walked closer to check if it was an actual person, but there was no one there.
Where's he going? What's up, man?
I really miss home. I hate being here. Trish, I love you. I wish I could be home with you too. I know we.
So this clip starts off casually with what looks like a serene and everyday scene. A man is on screen talking to his audience. A few seconds in, and something unusual starts to happen. The sweater on his bed falls, but that's not so weird, right? After all, clothing can and actually does fall when not placed correctly. Either way, he gets distracted by it and turns around. Just as he's looking at it, something moves violently in his closet. After watching the clip, it just didn't add up, so I searched for the original post and discovered something. The man in the clip claims he was recording a vlog for his family back home while stationed in Iraq, expressing his love and longing for them when an eerie voice and his locker door slamming open abruptly left him terrified, prompting him to request a room change. In other words, he heard a voice there before the movements, which makes him believe there was a ghost there with him. Naturally, this has left the community divided. Some claim it has to be real, whereas others are skeptical, stating no true soldier would share the details of his assignment, let alone place something like this online. You've seen the clip. What do you guys also think?
Trish, I love you. I wish I could be home with you too. I know we.
A group of men were out in the woods when they started to hear strange sounds. Listen.
Listen to that. What? I don't know. Listen to that.
Hear that? These sounds startled them. While they tried to decipher which animal might be making these sounds, they heard a response to that call that startled them. Once that response came, they heard the first one they heard again. There was not just one, but two animals communicating with these loud calls. This went on for a while, and the men left the place believing that the creatures were not just any ordinary animals, but Sasquatches. What's more, they believed the Sasquatches were actually communicating. Sounds like a bit of a stretch, but listen to the audio again and think about it.
Listen to that. What? I don't know. Listen to that.
Next, we got this interesting looking cloud here. What do you see when you look at it? I mean, take a good look. It's got the oval shape and seems to have been stationary long enough to have caught the attention of all those individuals pointing at it and recording it. Personally, the first time I saw this, I was convinced we were dealing with a UFO. We've shared many clips on this channel that have featured strange clouds which turn out to be cloaked UFOs hiding in plain sight. I have no doubt this is one of those situations. Despite my confidence, however, Julius, our in-house science whiz, disagrees and believes that this is nothing more than a misconception fueled by pareidolia. We've gone back and forth on this one many times. I decided to have a third opinion on it. What do you guys also think this could be? The idea of living in a simulation is something that has intrigued humanity for years, and it's only gaining more traction. Recently, I came across a fascinating video on Instagram by MacLeod. In it, he delves into the story of Robert Monroe, a man whose experience might just challenge everything we believe about reality.
You welcome Robert Monroe. What is an out-of-body experience?
Well, an out-of-body experience is a state of being, a state of awareness, a state of action, separate and apart from the physical body. About 25% of the population throughout the world, I guess, has this spontaneously take place that they're aware of, at least once in their lifetime.
Robert Monroe had incredible natural abilities to leave his body, to see things he shouldn't have seen. Long story short, Bob Monroe wanted to make sure that number one, he wasn't crazy, and number two, that his experiences were replicable by a scientific process.
Robert Monroe was an influential figure, widely known for his ability to astral project, which is essentially to leave his physical body and explore the world in a non-physical form. Through these experiences, Monroe reportedly uncovered insights that suggest our existence may not be as real as we think. He even provided explanations and accounts that point to the possibility that we're living in a simulated reality. In his writings and teachings, Monroe detailed what he encountered during his astral travels, dimensions beyond our own, beings with extraordinary capabilities, and most strikingly, the idea that our world could be an elaborate construct. This wasn't just a speculation. Monroe spent years refining his technique and documenting his findings, drawing both believers and skeptics. So what do you think? Could Monroe have truly tapped into something beyond, or is it just another theory about the nature of existence?
What happens? What happens?
Well, what happens is that you as an individual suddenly find yourself, for one reason or another, apart from your physical body, and yet you can think, you can be, you can act, but your physical body is in some other location. It may be only 2 inches away or 2,000 miles away.
Okay, this is Mako. Are you seeing this? I don't know what to do if I push up the house.
This footage, reportedly taken in Antarctica, has been labeled as forbidden and has sparked a wave of speculation. The video shows a fleet of disc-shaped UFOs flying in formation, heading toward a specific direction in the sky. The idea of Antarctica being a secret alien base has been a persistent theory in UFO lore. Supporters of this theory argue that the continent's remoteness, harsh climate, and restricted access make it an ideal location for extraterrestrial activity or covert operations. Does this footage lend credibility to those claims? What do you think?
Yeah, this is Mako. Are you seeing this? I don't know what to do. If we push that ass off, they're just gonna shoot him down.
This might just be the craziest clip in today's episode. Came across this clip online which claimed to have had an alien spaceship over a suburban home. When I first saw it, I saw the spaceship because of the camera shake and poor quality of the clip. After watching the clip several times, it became apparent. The spaceship is directly above the house. Take a good look. The dark mass over the house is not a roof, it's a spaceship. Either that or I have an extreme case of pareidolia. Seeing the ship doesn't, however, make this clip authentic. Despite pointing it out, many individuals were just not convinced. They felt this was fake. But what do you also think? As you share your thoughts on that, I would have you know that the mysterious fog phenomenon isn't isolated to Wisconsin. No, there are videos emerging from states like Missouri, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Texas, and others across the US, all capturing a thick, unnatural fog. What's truly unsettling is that people are reporting the fog smells like sulfur and causes irritation to their eyes and noses, which is far from the typical characteristics of natural fog. No official explanation has been provided, but the theories are piling up. Some suggest it could be weather manipulation, potentially geoengineering experiments. Others believe it might involve chemicals related to government activities. Then there are those leaning into the spiritual realm, claiming this fog could be a supernatural omen or a harbinger of something otherworldly. Whatever it is, the fact this phenomenon is widespread has left people restless. Do you think we should be worried?
It is really, really thick in downtown Dallas, and on top of that, it stinks. It smells like something's burning. It smells like sulfur. It stinks.
At the end of the day, when you're studying the material and you're studying the capabilities of these vehicles, and frankly, there's nothing that we have that compares to what these vehicles can do, the capabilities that they're demonstrating in front of us.
A former Pentagon intelligence officer recently made some startling claims in his new book. He alleges that unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs for short, are under active research by scientists and that these mysterious crafts are not the product of human technology. According to him, these UAPs exhibit capabilities far beyond what is known or possible with our current technological advancements. These statements have raised eyebrows and sparked a lot of discussions as they suggest the possibility that these crafts could be of extraterrestrial origin or involve technology that is far beyond anything we've developed on Earth. The idea that scientists are quietly studying these phenomena adds another layer of intrigue, fueling speculation about what might really be out there and what governments might know but aren't fully disclosing. If his claims hold any truth, they could challenge our understanding of technology, physics, and our place in the universe.
At the end of the day, when you're studying the material and you're studying the capabilities of these vehicles, and frankly, there's nothing that we have that compares to what these vehicles can do, the capabilities that they're demonstrating in front of us, then one has to ask, well, where are they from? And if it's not our technology and it's not some sort of adversarial technology, it's someone's technology.
When he turned around, I jumped and kind of grabbed my mouth like that because I didn't know what to think.
His whole eyeball, not just the pupil, but the white part,
turn completely black.
Something strange is happening that's leaving people feeling very uneasy. There have been several reports of encounters with individuals who have contorted faces and pitch black eyes. But who or what could these people or creatures be? There's been a lot of talk about aliens, with some suggesting that the humans might have already made contact with extraterrestrial beings. Could these black-eyed individuals be alien shapeshifters living among us, or is there something more to these unsettling phenomena? It's hard to say for sure, but the idea of alien beings blending into our society is certainly a chilling thought. What do you think is going on? A hiker recently shared some intriguing footage captured during one of his outdoor adventures. Deep in the wilderness, he spotted this massive creature covered in long, shaggy fur. The fur on its face was especially striking, longer and more unkempt than what you'd see in the usual Bigfoot footage. The creature was sitting on the ground, unaware of being watched as it calmly picked at its fur. Even from a distance, its sheer size was astonishing. The hiker estimated if it stood up, it would easily have been around 8 to 9 feet tall. The footage is remarkably clear, and it's one of the most convincing evidence compared to most Bigfoot sightings, yet skeptics think it might just be a person in a costume. What do you think? A professional photographer on tour in Egypt visited the famous Sekhmet statue, a sacred relic of ancient Egyptian history. While there, he took this intriguing photo of the statue. At first glance, it appears to be an ordinary image of the statue itself, but look closely just next to the statue. There's a blurry figure. It seems to resemble a person standing by the statue. Here's where it gets eerie. The photographer insists that there was no one else present when he took the photo. He was alone in the room. The photo quickly caught attention and was examined by experts. One noted that the blurry figure bears an uncanny resemblance to depictions of ancient Egyptian royalty. Look at the attire. It seems to feature traditional robes and even a headpiece reminiscent of those worn by rulers of old. How is this possible? What would you think the mysterious figure could be?
What?
Somebody's in the window keeping us.
No, there's not.
We heard a ticking clock.
Don't go nowhere. Stay right here.
A father was at home when he suddenly heard his daughter yelling for him, saying that there was a man behind the window. In the footage, you can see a head quickly dash off as soon as the father appears, prompting him to rush to the nearby window to check outside. However, he finds nothing in sight. Confused, he goes outside to investigate further, but still sees no one around. It's only when he comes back inside and reviews the footage that the eerie reality sets in. Upon closer inspection, the head that darted away from the window wasn't just any head, it had an alien-like appearance with huge pitch-black eyes. The sight is both chilling and baffling, leaving the father and those who saw the footage with a sense of unease. What could this strange figure have been? An alien stalking them, or was it just some neighbors pulling a prank?
What?
Somebody's in the window keeping us.
No, there's not.
We heard a ticking clock.
Don't go nowhere. Stay right here.
We actually found it. I didn't think we'd find this cave, but here it is.
The elevator! Holy crap! Dude, it sounds like there's power to it or something. What?
A group of men were out exploring when they stumbled upon a cave, but this wasn't just any ordinary cave. It led them to a 1,000-foot deep elevator shaft. As they ventured deeper, they discovered a spiral staircase that wound its way down, eventually revealing even more of the elevator track. To their amazement, it seemed like the elevator could actually be functional. This discovery is mind-blowing. The cave is believed to be connected to a popular tourist cave that once had a railway track running along it. However, the railway was shut down because the smoke from the train was causing significant damage. Imagine uncovering something like this. What could this hidden elevator have been used for, and how was it remained undiscovered for so long?
The elevator! Holy crap! Dude, it sounds like there's power to it or something. What?
Imagine running into this immediately after a rain. Your first thoughts and impressions would be, this has got to be some sort of insect swarm, right? Well, that's exactly what the individual recording thought until he got closer and realized that they weren't insects at all. So what were they? That's the thing, he doesn't know. They did look like a couple of magnetized metallic fragments that were bonding together. The last time we checked, such a thing shouldn't exist. So what could be going on here? Some think it's the government at it again. They think it's geoengineering or weather modification. Others think it might be alien. A subsect of the paranormal community, however, remains skeptical. They state he could just have tested his hypothesis by deploying a magnet. The lack of a magnet is proof to them the whole thing is fake and made up for likes and views. But what's your opinion? We'd love to know.
This video provides a bird's eye view of a mountainous area, but something strange was discovered within the landscape. There was an unusually long and oddly shaped rock formation on the ground. It looked like a massive spine sticking out from the earth. Given the many strange discoveries made throughout history, but, what could this be? Some believe this could be the fossilized remains of a giant creature buried beneath the surface for centuries, possibly even a remnant of an unknown species. Others argue that this is nothing more than a natural rock formation shaped by erosion over time to resemble something more mysterious. But what do you think? Is this the sign of something ancient and extraterrestrial, or just another trick of nature? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.